Okay, well, this is just your weekly reminder that we post every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube for the full visuals. Go follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Nothing But Controversy, on Twitter at NB Controversy. Go to nothingbutcontroversy.com/blog to check out our newest blogs. Every week now, we're going to be posting our NBC Top 25 for the NCAA, as well as our weekly awards in the NFL. Shayner has just posted our Week 1 NFL awards. And lastly, go to nothingbutcontroversy.com/shop to buy our latest merch. And just so you guys know, these trucker hats are going on sale very, very soon. So if you want one, we're going to be posting them very soon. Send us a DM, and let's go to episode 40.
This is Nothing But Controversy. Four guys on a podcast and we're talking about sports. Four guys on a podcast and we're talking about sports. Nothing But Controversy with Matt, Dawson, Cam, and Shayner.
Well, what's up, guys? And welcome to episode 40.
Woo! Yes, sir.
Of the Nothing But Controversy podcast. Wow, 40 of these. 40 weeks later, we're almost gonna hit a year. That's crazy. We're gonna have to do something special for that. We're officially negative 5 days away from the start of the 2021 NFL regular season because it started.
We need a countdown to the Super Bowl now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get that going. Listen, we're gonna go over the schedule here. We're gonna hop straight into question of the week. Then we're gonna go into our bold prediction of the week. Then our NFL game of the week. And then at the start of every season, we always do our NBC awards. So NFL edition. Then we go into top 5. And then we end it off, of course, with our lock of the week in terms of betting.
A little shorter episode for you guys.
Yeah, a little shorter. We'll get going here. But before we go into our question of the week, I'd just like to remind all you Canadian citizens that Monday, September 20th, is Election Day here in Canada. And here at NBC, we all believe in the right to vote and that you should all vote. We're telling you this now because by next Wednesday, when we post our next episode, the next Canadian Prime Minister will have been chosen. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I will tell you who I voted for and why. So buckle up. Okay? I voted for the Bud Light Party of Canada, whose leader is none other than an NBC host himself, Mr. Shane Gravel O'Donnell. Now, why did I vote for him? First of all, I need someone I could trust. All politicians are liars. And Shayner's the most trustworthy guy I know. So why not vote for him? I mean, I know Justin Trudeau is a good-looking guy, but there's no way that Shayner is not the best-looking candidate out of the whole thing. Who wants to be the face of Canada? Who doesn't want Shayner to be the face of Canada? Shane doesn't have any ongoing scandals. There's nothing to worry about there.
He's just got a lot of baby mamas.
Yeah, listen, I'd say he's a pretty straight-up, chill kind of guy. He is on record saying that he would be the coolest prime minister in the history of Canada. And you know what? I believe him. His plan includes providing free Bud Light to all Canadian citizens
Over the age of 18.
He's in office. And if you don't like Bud Light, there are substitute options. If elected, he has also promised to do one Shayner special with the Canadian flag wrapped around his neck in every major body of water that Canada has to offer. Listen, the reason I've made my case here for why Shayner should be prime minister is not because I want you to vote for him. It's not because I want you to vote for who I want, okay? I'm just providing the facts. And these facts are pretty clear of who should be in office. So go vote Monday. And I'm pumped to see if my speech has gained Shayner some votes here.
I would just also like to add, ladies, if you would like to be the first lady of Canada, we are currently offering an open application to be Shayner's wife. So please fill that in below. It'll be in the comments below.
But yeah, go vote, Canada. And with that being said, let's go into our question of the week. Okay, so question of the week. What was your favorite moment or part of week 1 in the NFL? I'm going to go first. Buckle up. You guys know what's coming. Obviously, my favorite moment was watching the Saints put an absolute beating on the Packers. Okay, who saw that coming?
Not me.
Not only because they beat them in that way, but because it proves to people like what I've been saying. Like, people have been saying the Saints are done. The Saints are out. Like, okay, I know it's only been a week, but a lot of people were just counting Winston out because he's a meme. Like, literally, that's why, because he threw 30 interceptions, okay? Let me just say something, okay? To me, you have to be uber talented to throw for 5,000 yards, okay? Only 8 quarterbacks have done that, okay? You could say, oh, he threw a bunch of picks, but only 8 quarterbacks have ever thrown for 5,000 yards, okay? Of those 8, only 1 has done it multiple times. That person, Drew Brees, who's done it 5 times, okay? This is not a coincidence. Jameis was in a Bruce Arians offense where it was take a shot on third down kind of offense, kind of mentality. And that's why he had so many picks. It was like, fuck it, we're going to punt anyway. It was literally that kind of mentality. He's now in a Sean Payton offense that thrives off establishing the short game before taking shots, and you can see why it's working. Jameis Winston threw for, 186 yards and 5 touchdowns.
148 yards.
148 yards.
Didn't even touch 150.
Literally. And he took, I think PFF said he only took two like long balls, like long shots. But not only the offense. Let's move to the defense of the Saints. First off, the Saints are back to being a top 3 run-stopping defense. Not necessarily that they ever left. Marshawn Lattimore finally got a well-earned, deserved extension. Because I've been telling people that, to me, he's one of the best shutdown corners in the league. I think it's very hard to argue with that. And I won't go too much into the pass defense because even though they had 2 picks, it wasn't necessarily only the Saints playing amazing D. It was the Packers also playing terrible. So this is not only a Saints speech, this is a Packers speech, okay? Because, man, the Packers are a mess. I mean, I know it was only week 1, but did not look good, okay? Rodgers looked like a bum. And the thing that surprised me the most was Devontae Adams. I've never seen him look that lazy in his entire career. It looked like he did not want to be there. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Okay, this is the freaking funny stat. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. But Rodgers had a 32.8 passer rating. Okay? To put things into perspective of how bad that is, if he were to throw the ball into the dirt every single play, he would have a 39.6 passer rating. 7 points better.
That's crazy.
So, I'm not necessarily ready to hop on the Super Bowl Saints bandwagon yet, but it's time for people to realize that even though the Saints are in the division with the Bucs, the Saints are still contenders, man. And I know you guys don't like hearing it, but frick me, do I like saying it. But yeah, that's my favorite part of week 1.
Also, my favorite part of week 1, I'll get into in a sec, but very, very honorable mention goes to the soundbite that Jameis Winston gave us in his post-game interview. Was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
How did the defense in the running game give overall shape to the way this played out, Jameis?
Well, I just think we were prepared. You know, one thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
Like Matt said, he's a walking meme. But for me, my favorite moment of week 1, eating the W, come on. My favorite moment of week 1 has got to be seeing Carson Wentz in the horseshoe. We didn't see it in the preseason. Came out, did not play bad. That loss, I don't know if you guys watched the game, that loss can no way be attributed to Carson Wentz. Threw for 250 plus, 2 touchdowns, no picks, ran the ball well, ran the offense well. I'm excited for the Colts this season because Carson Wentz is, I don't want to say back to his MVP form, but he looked very good. He looked very calm. But Frank Reich's play calling was brutal. It's been a problem for 3 years now. He's going for it on, 4th and 3s from his own from the opposing team's 30. He's not taking points when it's given to him. He's not taking these field goals. And honestly, our defense looked absolutely brutal, absolutely horrible. I'll get more into the Colts because, spoiler alert, they might be our game of the week. But Seattle's offense also looked explosive, as they always do for the first 6 weeks of every single season. But damn, they looked lights out. Russell Wilson looked lights out. Tyler Lockett. Always, Tyler Lockett goes for 8 points or he goes for 38. There's no in between, and he had one of his huge games this week. But no, for me, had to be Carson Wentz in the blue. Honorable mention too to the Patriots losing. Always love to see that. Yeah. Good transition into Liam, by the way.
There you go. Yeah, unlike Dawson and Matt here, I'm not going with my team. Obviously, they had kind of a disappointing week. I was about to say maybe Mac Jones was my favorite moment, but not a lot of excitement when you're throwing the ball 6.5 yards downfield every play. But so I'm gonna go with the first game of the year, the Thursday night game. We got a shootout of a first game of the season. Plus, Amari and AB carried my fantasy team to a win this week, which was huge. And come on, man, there's nothing beats watching NFL football with the boys, having a couple drinks on a Thursday night. That was my favorite moment of the week one. And like, it pains me to say that, but it was still a great game. I wish I could say the Patriots put out a great performance, but it was far from that. So yeah, Dallas Cowboys Thursday night game, my favorite game of the week, my favorite moment of week one.
Hey, Liam, for what it's worth, I liked watching the game with you too, pal.
Thank you. Glad you did.
Yeah.
Wish I could be there.
Dawson, you're going to make me cry.
Listen, I've been bad-mouthing the Eagles since we started talking about NFL a couple months ago. I was pleasantly surprised this weekend. It had to be my favorite moment.
Sure.
The Falcons barely moved the ball at all throughout the whole game. That Eagles defense, they added a couple free agents, but kind of guys where it's rentals. You don't know how they're actually going to play. Those guys balled out. The offense, honestly, my favorite part was seeing Devontae Smith get his first catch for a touchdown, which was sick. Jalen Reagor played super well. And obviously the star of the show, Jalen Hurts. A lot of talk about him all offseason. Oh, the Eagles have 3 first-round picks. They're going to go get a quarterback next year. If the Eagles go into the offseason with 3 first-round picks and Jalen Hurts as their franchise guy, I think they're going to be in good shape. I don't want to be an overreaction Monday kind of guy because I still think it's going to be a very up and down season, but I'm really excited for this team. A lot of young guys, a lot of guys who look like they're hungry and ready to play. So, yeah, I'm excited. Also, honorable mention, Chandler Jones, 5 sacks.
Fuck yeah.
Doing that little money dance. I love that shit. Good for him. He's going to get paid. Whether it's by the Cardinals or not, he will get paid.
Oh, yeah. But luckily for the Cardinals, if they're trying to trade him, if they're trying to move him, his stock just started soaring.
Yeah.
Also,
Can
fun
you even
fact.
think about moving a guy like that right now?
No chance. No chance. On pace for 85 sacks this year.
Unfortunately, it was another loss for the Giants. But I'm going to say Daniel Jones did look good aside from the fumble. So that was good to see. The offense play calling still absolutely sucks. Jason Garrett's got to get out of there. But my favorite moment of the week was we waited such a long offseason to see football games. And in 2 of those games, we got extra football. So it was the 2 OT games for me. Minnesota, Cincinnati, and then the Monday night Raiders, Ravens, which was an absolute shit show at times. I don't know what happened in that game, but to me, like LBS said, watching football, it's great to have the game back and for us to get 2 extra quarters. That was my favorite moment.
I have never seen that before. The commentator even said, Lamar Jackson was hugging people 2 minutes ago, and now he's thrown back into the game.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Did you guys watch Peyton and Eli do the broadcast of the Monday night game?
Love it, yeah.
I wish we could get it.
Yeah, I watched. They posted on YouTube. They posted the overtime. It was them with Russell Wilson. It was so entertaining, man. They had Travis Kelce come in too, I think. Travis Kelce had no idea who they were playing next week.
Oh, man.
No. Okay, and just quickly before we jump into the next segment, surprise of the week. Are the Texans legit or do the Jags suck?
I told you, that was my bold last week. I can't believe it hit. But I feel like it's just Tyrod Taylor always has one of those games a year, and he used it up in week 1.
Yeah. Or is this just him showing what he can do when he doesn't have a fucking doctor puncturing his lung?
No, look, they're playing the Browns this week. I think we'll see a real fair evaluation here. They played a shit team. They're going to play a good team. You'll be able to size them up after this weekend. Obviously, I'm not expecting much from them, but who knows? The nice little 3-headed monster in the backfield. Couple decent receivers. We'll see what happens.
Hey,
believe
before
Mark-
we move on to our next segment, Cam, we're 1-0, baby. That's all I got to say. And I'm fired up. I'm ready to hop on the train with you. Let's go. Anyways, that being said, let's go to the next segment, our bold prediction of the week. Football bold predictions are back, baby, and I'm fired up. LBS, I'm with you. Mac Jones is going to throw for 5 touchdowns against the New York Jets.
Damn.
Bold.
Very bold. Very bold.
Very fucking bold.
Fucking
You know, I'd love to see it though.
5 passes last week, fam.
Ugh.
All right. Coming in at a whopping plus 170. The Indianapolis Colts are going to beat the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams looked absolutely dangerous.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Matt Stafford looked deadly.
That is the
and
happiest I've
Sean
ever seen.
McVay was not scared to come out after the game and say, my offense is completely open with Matt Stafford. You saw it on the first play.
Yeah.
Deep bootleg, flips his hips and just chucks it to Van Jefferson. I don't know if that was the first play, but
His second throw.
So there you go. It was absolutely crazy. That offense is going to be fun to watch all year.
But I say this with hope that the Colts can address their 2 biggest issues from Sunday, which were the O-line, which was horrible and surprising, with Eric Fisher coming back, in the secondary, with our number 1 corner, Xavier Rhodes, coming back. But again, we'll talk about that a bit later. But bold prediction of the week, Colts go into LA, beat the Rams, plus 170.
Yes, sir. My bold prediction of the week. Cam might like this one. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to move to 2-0 against the San Fran 49ers, plus 165. I kind of like this one, especially after watching this entire Eagles game. The offense looked legit. The defense looked solid. I don't know if I couldn't really tell if the Falcons were just really struggling or if, that Eagles defense is legit. Late in the game, they got, 2 or 3 sacks. They looked legit. The Niners, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about them this year. Obviously, Debo went crazy week 1. That's going to be a big matchup against the Eagles.
Where the fuck was Brandon Ayuk? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
That's what
Ayuk.
the
And
fantasy
then
team wants to know.
I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with San Fran's QB rotation right now. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of rotating QBs and seeing what's going on. So I'm liking the Eagles. Bold prediction of the week: Eagles money line over the Niners plus 165. Let's get it.
All right. The boys had a little couple extra classes today, so I had a lot of free time on my hands. I put in the work here. I wrote it down on the board. You guys got to soak it in for a couple of minutes, get into the notes, but got a little CFB parlay. I know we're talking a lot of NFL today, but had to sprinkle in some college football. Here we go.
Virginia Tech plus 3 at West Virginia. Auburn plus 6 at Penn State. I like that. Cincy minus 3.5 at Indiana. I like that too.
I'm in.
Lock me
Also
in. Lock me in, baby. What's the odds looking like on that?
I said I was in before Cam even showed me what the parlay was.
Thanks.
I'm assuming it's going to be around plus 500. Maybe maybe even better odds. I haven't looked at it because Betway's is a little messed up with these, but the only one I'm really worried about is Auburn plus 6 at
Yeah,
Penn
I was
State.
gonna
Penn
say
State
that.
has looked really good. That defense has looked super good. Auburn hasn't played any legit teams yet, but new coach, Mr. Harsin, I believe it's Brian Harsin. They've dropped 60 plus in back-to-back games to start the year. Bo Nix, me and Shayner are big haters, but Loki, he's all right. And then you look at Virginia Tech, West Virginia. West Virginia's in the Big 12. They're not going to play defense. Virginia Tech's defense looked really good against North Carolina in week 1. So I can't, maybe not an upset right there, but I could see. Listen, they're on the road at West Virginia. It's a tough place to play, no doubt. But yeah, I think they might sneak out of there. And then Cincinnati, Desmond Ritter looks amazing. There's no hiding that. So I like his odds. Indiana, coming off a good year last year, but they've really started off on the wrong foot. So I like Cincinnati's odds here.
Anytime Cam can bet against Sean Clifford, he's taking it too.
Absolutely. Fuck Sean Clifford. I like Liam Clifford, though.
All right, for me, Cam just kind of talked about this game, Browns and Texans. Houston's going to be humbled after week 1. Browns are going to put up a 50-piece. The Browns are going to run it up on the Texans.
I thought you were about to say the Texans are
No, I can't go back to that well twice.
Okay.
But 50-piece for the Browns. Odell should be back.
I was going to say.
I mean, I don't think anybody's
I can't wait.
stopping that offense.
Kane's kind of a closet Browns fan, if you really think about it.
I'm a closet
loves
Browns
betting
fan,
on the
big time.
See?
I'm a huge closet Browns fan.
But you're not really a closet fan because we all know you're in love with Baker.
But it's not even
Shayner-
Baker, bro. I love OBJ. I love Juice. I love the guys on that defense. Like, Myles Garrett is one of my favorite players in the NFL. Like,
They have so many guys you just can't hate. Like,
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
OBJ. I love Juice. Like you said.
And I really like Kevin Stefanski, too. I really like what he's done.
He should have been hired the year before he was hired.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our bold predictions. And now, as Dawson alluded to before, we're heading into our game of the week. It's week 2. There's a lot of good games. But what we chose as the game of the week is the LA Rams heading to Indianapolis to play Dawson's Colts.
Woo!
As always, I don't know if you guys did it this week. It didn't put it in the plan, but score and X factor.
Yep.
My score. Sorry, Dawson. 28-17 for the LA Rams. X factor being the Rams D-line. Okay. Honestly, I think the Rams might have, if not the best, a top 3 roster in the NFL. So it's hard to bet against them. I think they're better than the Seahawks. And even though the Hawks did play well, the Colts didn't impress me too much. Okay? And to me, if they could stop JT in the backfield and make Carson Wentz throw, not that Carson Wentz is a bad passer, but the Rams are a tough team to throw the ball against. So right there is where I still see the Colts getting a couple scores, but if the Rams don't get 28, they might get more. And sorry to say it, Dawson, but trying to be an analyst here. Yeah, I hope for your sake the Colts win, though.
I know the Colts did just give up that many points to Seattle, but I think 28 points against a Colts defense that is good, that just didn't play well Sunday, is a bit much, I think. So my realistic score for this game, I'm going to be an analyst too. I'm not going to lock into my bold prediction. Is going to be 21-17 for the Rams. Okay. My X factor this week, I had a bunch, but one of them has to be the play of the Colts O-line, because the Colts O-line is known over the past 4 or 5 years, ever since Luck retired, to be one of the best in the league without a doubt. Quentin Nelson, Costanzo, who retired, Braden Smith. The addition of Eric Fisher, who after last week shows how much we need him, because our second string left tackle, Julian Davenport, played one of the worst games at left tackle I've ever seen in my life. So X factor for me, number 1, it has to be the Colts O-line. And if I had to throw in a number 2, it's going to be the play of Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell, because I think if I had to guess after his performance in week 1, and just because he is the wide receiver 1 in Indianapolis, I think Jalen Ramsey's going to be playing a lot with Zach Pascal. So if Paris Campbell can get over the top, if, Michael Pittman can, get those 7-8 catches that we expect out of him, I think that'll be huge. But yeah, the Colts were missing Eric Fisher in week 1, which is huge. He's their starting left tackle. Like there's no other way around it. And they were missing their best corner in Xavier Rhodes. So we had Rock Ya-Sin as corner number 1 going up against Tyler Lockett, which is never a good idea. And just the way we used our strong safety, Kari Willis, last week, I didn't like it. We need Julian Blackmon covering people up top. You can't rely on Kari Willis to not let a guy like Tyler Lockett behind him. We need speed back there. Kari Willis is great up in the box, but not great in coverage. So I think they'll make adjustments this week. I think the Colts defense will bounce back, and we'll end the season being a top 10 defense that I think they are. So I'm excited for this, but 21-17 Rams.
All right. Well, I got a very similar prediction here, and X factors. I'm going 24-17 Rams. My X factors being, well, I had two as well. Matt Stafford, and that offense. If he his first game with this offense, and he had nearly a perfect passer rating. I don't know if he could. He's only probably gonna build off of that week 2, and that's scary. That's scary sight. But obviously he's playing the Colts defense. We'll see what happens there. Either he goes crazy or they lock him down. And secondly, I was gonna go as well with the Colts receiving. Obviously, Colts offense. Just go Colts offense. Like you said, you brought up Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey's going to be covering Zach Pascal, that we think. But Jalen Ramsey doesn't really move across the field a lot, I've heard. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We're going to need a big performance out of those two guys. If they can combine for 150 and a touchdown or two or something, that'll help the Colts a lot. But ultimately, Matt said it, Rams have probably one of the best rosters in the league, and I think that will be a little too much for the Colts this week. 24-17 Rams, game of the week.
All right. I see this game like a little bit differently than you guys. Similar score though. I have the Rams winning this game 27-23, but I think it's going to depend a lot on the quarterback play. This is a QB battle. There's no doubt about it. These are two guys that want to prove to their new teams that they're here to stay, and they'll help them make a deep run. I think the Rams defense need to keep the Colts to short drives, keep them under 2 first downs per drive. The Colts are going to try to run the ball, keep the ball out of Matt Stafford's hands. They're going to try to play the possession game, which they did effectively on the weekend. Like, if they need a big play, Matt Stafford has the arm to get them a big play, but we'll see what happens there. I do have my X factor, as what Dawson alluded to a little bit, the Colts secondary. They need to be better, obviously. Xavier Rhodes is back. Yes?
Should be, yeah.
Okay, so Xavier Rhodes is back. That's going to be huge for them. The Colts front seven is the Colts front seven. They're one of the best in the league. They keep Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel with the ball in their hands, and they know the run's coming, then they'll be able to shut it down. And if that secondary can keep things in front of them, then I think the Colts have a chance. But ultimately, I don't know. I think the Rams have a couple trick plays up their sleeve that'll just win them this game. But I do think it'll be super close.
Mm-hmm.
What time's kickoff? 4?
1.
Oh, it's a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Before I say this, before I give my opinion, Dawson, I just want you to know that I love you. Before I tell you what happens. My score, I got Rams winning. We're all going Rams here. 31-15 for the Rams. I don't think it's going to be close. I also have 2 X factors. I'm going to start with the first one, being Aaron Donald against Quentin Nelson. To me, the best player in all of football against the best offensive lineman. Whoever wins that matchup, I think, honestly, their team wins. Because Aaron Donald could wreck a game solely off himself. If he's in Carson Wentz's face all game, Carson Wentz isn't getting that ball out. And then you got Jalen Ramsey on the back end, who he's not going to let that shit fly if Aaron Donald's all over Wentz. And same thing with Quentin Nelson. If he can move Aaron Donald off the ball, get the run game going. Obviously, like Cam said, Matt Stafford's not going to have the same amount of opportunities to go out and start slinging the ball. Second X factor is if Aaron Donald is winning this matchup. Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford kind of seem to be building a nice connection there at the second half of the Sunday night game. So the way the DBs played for Indy in the first game, I think Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford could have a big game if they're just dropping back and keep slinging the ball. So those are my 2 X factors. But to me, it all depends on the first X factor.
And before we move on here, Van Jefferson in his second year. I mean, he had a couple of big plays last year, but I really liked him coming out of Florida. He's scary now. Like, he is scary. He is like that little gadget guy on that offense for now. He's scary.
Did he not have like 2 touchdowns in their playoff game last year, or a touchdown in their playoff? I think
he had the first touchdown.
Yeah, he definitely had a few big plays last year, but now he looks like he'll be an actual part of this offense. And to me, like, you better watch out.
Van Jefferson is a scary dude when he gets going, let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Fuck you guys.
That does it for our game of the week. Sorry, Dawson. Hopefully, hey, you know those graphics where it just has a bunch of Rams logos?
Yeah, I'm just thinking I'm gonna make one this week.
Maybe that'll turn the tides. But hey, let's go into a segment we haven't done in a while, and that's NBC Awards.
Woo!
So here, let me just do a rundown of what awards we're gonna go through. We're gonna start with Offensive Player of the Year. Then we're gonna go into Defensive Player, Offensive Rookie, Defensive Rookie, Comeback Player, Coach, and then of course the MVP. We're gonna be using our boards for this. So I guess write down who you think is gonna be the Offensive Player of the Year.
Then we'll talk about it.
Yep.
All right.
I'm already ready. Just let me know when you guys are ready.
Good to go.
For those who are listening on Spotify and can't see what we're doing right now, LBS is just taking a little bit of time. So is Cam, but I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Lift them. All right. Patrick Mahomes for LBS. Stafford for Shayner. I did not see what Cam put. Cam put Stafford as well. Dawson put CMC. And I put Tyreek Hill. Okay. So, might be a little bit of a shocker. I feel like there hasn't been a receiver who's won this in a long time, maybe ever. I couldn't tell you.
Michael Thomas just win this.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, he won it too. Yeah, it's true. He won it. But after that, I don't really know.
After that, it was fucking 2 years ago.
Literally. But yeah, Tyreek Hill, man. Maybe the most unstoppable receiver in the NFL, I think, easily. So, I mean, after week 1, he had pretty good.
Like DeAndre Hopkins doesn't play football anymore?
I think Tyreek Hill is far more unstoppable than DeAndre Hopkins.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, so Michael.
How do you stop Tyreek? Like literally how?
He stopped DeAndre.
Double covering him. Tyreek just runs away from it. Like it's ridiculous. I think it's easier to stop Tyreek than DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, thank you.
I think sorry, the opposite.
No. You don't get to go.
Well, you said it.
I said it. I can't go back now.
I mean, bias aside that he's on my fantasy team, CMC showed no signs of missing last year. I think he looked phenomenal. I hate to say it, I kind of like the Panthers offense. I like Darnold. I like Darnold. I like Robbie Anderson. I like DJ Moore. I like CMC.
It's that college style too.
Yeah, I like
Joe Brady calling the plays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like it. And CMC, when he gets the ball, man, he is so explosive. It's crazy. Like he's so fast twitch. It's wild. So I see him going crazy again this year. So I have him as my offensive player of the year.
Yeah, I think Carolina might be my closet team. I don't know why. I just love their offense as well. But, yeah, I chose Patrick Mahomes. I wanted to go Tyreek. I was thinking about him, CMC as well. But ultimately, I just think Patrick Mahomes going to have another one of those years, maybe throw for 5,000 yards. Who knows? He's going to have a ridiculous amount of touchdowns again. Obviously, with guys like Tyreek, Travis Kelce, and all the other weapons they have back there. It's a dangerous offense, and it's a recipe to win offensive player of the year. So that's why I chose him.
Yeah, I went with the guy we were just talking about. Matt Stafford has obviously never had this good of an offense. He did have Megatron, but other than that, it's been few and far between of players that match his energy and his skill level. Sean McVay is by far the best play caller that he's ever gonna have. So it's a scary sight. He has receivers for days in that offense. He can throw the ball as many times as he wants to or needs to, and yeah, it's going to be a fun year in LA, and I could see him pulling this one off for sure.
Yeah, this very well might be the best offense in the NFL at the end of the year in every statistical category. And it's crazy to think that they don't even have their number one running back, which would have opened up so much for Stafford.
Imagine Cam Akers was there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, not to say that Darrell Henderson isn't a good running back, but he's not Cam Akers. I just think Stafford's finally going to get the recognition of who the player he is. And his deep ball, we saw it a couple times on Sunday night. It's not going away anytime soon. Like, he was slinging that ball, so those passing yards are going to keep adding up. And he very well – I saw someone say this, and it could be true. Matt Stafford could be the first quarterback to ever hit 6,000 yards passing.
That's wild.
That's sick.
Would not shock me.
No.
Before we move on here, like, I'm all over the Matt Stafford train. I love the guy. But, like, you know, almost every single person in and around the NFL has been saying how Matt Stafford's, like, underrated and he deserves his recognition. But, like, is us talking about him nonstop for the last year and a half, like, not enough for, like, do you guys still think he's underrated? Because, like, literally every single person just says he's underrated. I've never heard him say anyone say he sucks.
Yeah, no.
I think he's starting to not be underrated anymore.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I don't think he's been
way
underrated
gone.
for, like, well over a year now.
Yeah, I think that's what happens though. A guy flies under the radar for a long time, and then you bring him up for a year, whatever. He's right where he belongs right now. And he's legit. So.
Even before he went to LA, just when like the trade talks and shit were happening.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, even the package that they got for him shows that teams know what he is.
Yes, absolutely.
He just had the fortune of playing for the Detroit Lions, who we probably won't talk about all year, but anyways.
Anyways, let's move on. Defensive player of the year. Who you got? Let's go. 3.
Shit, I have to write it down.
2, 1. I got Myles Garrett from Shayner, Jalen Ramsey from LBS, Darius Leonard from Dawson, and TJ Watt from Cam. I myself have Aaron Donald for the simple reason that, I don't know, man, I guess they just keep giving it to him.
It's the Aaron Donald Defensive Player of the Year award.
I was going to say, like, they might as well just rename it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if TJ Watt didn't deserve it last year, who says he's going to deserve it this year, right? So.
TJ Watt did deserve it last year.
I agree, but they certainly didn't think so. So I guess it's the Aaron Donald effect.
I had Darius Leonard, mega biased, but I think I have somewhat of a right to be in this case. The guy's everywhere all the time. Forced another fumble on Sunday. Seems to do that every single week. I don't know how, but he's going to finish the year with 130 plus tackles, probably a couple interceptions, 10 plus forced fumbles. Like, he's always in the play. So who knows? Darius Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I almost chose him as well. He's flying all over the field at all times, but I ended up going with Ramsey. He's the definition of a lockdown corner. There's nothing you can't deny that. Especially, he had a big game. I think he had a solid game this week 1. Obviously, I don't want to say it, but I think he's gonna reach Revis Island level. He's legit. Closest thing to a lockdown corner. I think he's gonna put up crazy numbers, getting some picks this year, a lot of PDUs. An ultimately lead the Rams deep into the playoffs. So I think that's worthy candidate of Defensive Player of the Year. So that's why I chose him.
Yeah, to me, like, any of these guys are deserving, and any of these guys, like, right now are in the race. But to me, like, yes, last year TJ Watt deserved it. He just got paid like he deserves it. He's the best, most versatile defensive player in the NFL. He rushes the passer better than a lot of guys, and he covers better than a lot of guys. He tackles and makes plays better than anyone. So when you have a guy who, like, is either getting a pick, forcing a fumble, getting 3 sacks, whatever, like, game in, game out, every single week, like, to me, I don't know. That Steelers defense lost a couple of pieces. They didn't really add much. He's really at the center of that defense right now. And look, on the weekend he had 2 sacks and a forced fumble. They upset Buffalo at home, like, because of their defense, held them to 16 points. So yeah, to me, like, maybe not a no-brainer because it's so super early, but I like TJ Watt's odds this year.
Yeah, you guys kind of touched on, Cam touched on edge rushers. Coming out of Texas A&M, his draft comparison, Myles Garrett, was to Khalil Mack. Which I thought at the time was crazy. Obviously, a lot of people did. But I think we're seeing exactly why he was compared to Khalil Mack coming out of college. right now, to me, aside, him and TJ Watt are 1 and 2. You can flip them however you want. To me, Myles Garrett's the best edge rusher. He's he's more dominant, like physically dominant. I find TJ Watt's more technique, but Myles Garrett is more physically dominant than TJ Watt. Myles Garrett's a bully. It doesn't matter who the hell's starting at tackle. Myles Garrett will bully you. He had another sack in week 1. He's a guy who could very well, him and TJ Watt could be going to the last game to see who wins the sack crown.
Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones too after his five sack game. But Myles Garrett, a lot of records I think we're going to start seeing being broken, single season records.
Strahan's record's got to go.
Strahan's record's going to be broken within the next 3 to 4 years for me, and I wouldn't be surprised if Myles Garrett did it this year. I
think it could be this year. Yeah.
He's got the best, guy opposite him that he's ever had in his career with Jadeveon Clowney. And, they built that defense, that back end to, get some coverage sacks, and Myles Garrett's going to benefit from that.
Okay. Next up, we're going to go, who is your prediction for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
This one pains me.
This one's going to be a shock.
3, 2, 1. I've got Devontae. Cam has Jamar Chase, Mac Jones from Dawson, Trevor Lawrence from LDS, and Rashawn Slater from Shayner.
Boys, I'm loving the variety here.
Yeah, listen, I mean, major bias. It was either him or Mac Jones because, Alabama boys. But, man, I love watching Devontae Smith play. And watching him catch that football for his first touchdown was quite fantastic, let me tell you.
Oh, shit, it's my turn. Hello.
Yours, hi.
I think it's going to go to a quarterback. Quarterbacks have the best odds of winning it, let's be real. And Trevor Lawrence didn't impress me too much. Threw 3 picks. He looked kind of panicked in a sense against the Houston Texans defense, which is wild to me. Of the rookie quarterbacks that played, I know Trey Lance only, subbed in a few drives here and there with Jimmy G, but Mac Jones looked very composed, looked a lot much more composed than Zach Wilson, I found.
Obviously, Zach Wilson got sacked 6 times, to be fair.
Zach Wilson was running for his life.
Absolutely. Yeah, that Jets O-line was horrible. Awful. But of the rookie quarterbacks, Mac Jones, I don't know. I have the most faith in Mac Jones right now, which I hate saying because I hate the Patriots. But
before LBS goes, speaking of Zach Wilson on the run, him passing on the run is disgusting. He is so good throwing the ball on the run, it's crazy. So if they can figure out, the receivers can get open downfield when he's on the move, that offense could actually be something.
Yeah.
Well, if the O-line blocked, that would also help, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Trevor Lawrence didn't have the hottest start week 1, but I still think he played decently. He looked calm and I don't think he looked panicky. I think I think all 3 of his picks were just overthrows, and he had a lot of overthrows in this game. I'm gonna attribute that to just being like adrenaline, like you're in the moment, because he made a lot of good throws, a lot of throws that you're like, wow, that's why he went number 1. He made a lot of good plays. And so I'm going to attribute those picks to just, adrenaline, obviously first game, but I can see him he still put up solid numbers. You take the picks away and he had a great game, So I think he's going to do that week in, week out, regardless of who he plays. And he's just that good. So I think he's going to win it, regardless if the Jags have, fucking 1-16 record or whatever they end up with. I still think he can win the Rookie of the Year award. So that's why I went with him.
I don't think it's a stretch to say that whatsoever.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but no, I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase here. A lot of making fun of him, including from us. It was a funny quote. Obviously, it turned out not to be really what he said at all, but he came out and balled. He shut everyone up in 3 hours. That was it. There's a reason why he went number 5. I don't think the Bengals regret that pick at all. Obviously, they got a big win, but I like where Jamar Chase fits in this offense. He's looking like wide receiver 3 right now. I know they love Tyler Boyd. I know Tyler Boyd lives in the slot, but You flex out a tight end, put Jamar Chase in the slot. He's dangerous. We saw what he did on the outside on that long touchdown. He's hard to cover. He has good hands. I like his odds.
Yeah, I went a little bit off the board here. No offensive lineman has ever won Rookie of the Year. But Rashawn Slater had an exceptional game. Drafted at, 12th overall by the Chargers. Everyone knew the Chargers needed O-line help. Rashawn Slater came in, slotted in at left tackle. 49 pass blocking snaps, not one pressure. So, this guy, and he was playing maybe the best D-line in the NFL in Washington, lined up against Chase Young a bunch of times. And we've talked about Chase Young being an absolute bully also, like we talked about Myles Garrett. For him to keep Chase Young off the stat sheet is insane. So hopefully maybe now the big guys will get some love, and he'll be the first offensive lineman to win Rookie of the Year.
And shout out to Penei Sewell too. Had a tough preseason in Detroit. Lined up. Taylor Decker got hurt like Saturday or was like ruled inactive on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
So he ended up playing a bunch of snaps against Nick Bosa too. Came out with a higher grade than Slater actually from PFF. So
He moved back to his comfortable left tackle.
yeah, exactly.
All good choices and a lot of variety coming from your Nothing But Controversy host.
Loving it.
Hey, you know what? I love you, Dawson. And you know what else I love? The Defensive Rookie of the Year. So write that down.
I'm good to go.
Me as well. 3, 2,
More bias coming.
1. I have Micah Parsons. So does LBS. So does Cam. Quiddy Pay from Dawson and Aziz Ojolari from Shayner. Micah Parsons, I just see him getting into that defense and getting a lot of tackles, like getting slotted into that defense and getting a lot of tackles from where he is. I just see there's also a lot of spotlight on Dallas, like as per usual. So I don't know. What I saw from Micah Parsons, I liked. So yeah, Micah Parsons, if you keep playing the way you're playing, you're going to be a very good NFL football player.
Yeah, I think when the Colts drafted Quiddy Pay, I'm like, okay, year one, he's going to be a fantastic rotation guy, on the edge for the Colts. But I spoke about it with Shane earlier. Quiddy Pay played 80% of the defensive snaps for the Colts on Sunday, which is pretty wild. And not to mention, he's playing on the same side as DeForest Buckner. So Quiddy Pay is going to be going up against one-on-one on tackles almost every time he's pass rushing, because there's no way they're not putting a guard and a center on DeForest Buckner. There's no way. And if they do, then good for them. DeForest Buckner is going to get 8 sacks a game. So I can see Quiddy Pay getting, 12, 15 sacks this year. I don't think it's out of the realm of the possibility with the amount of snaps he's playing and just the situation he's in. So, that's a good recipe for a lot of eyes for Defensive Player of the Year. And he was one of the highest rated PFF defensive players this week too.
I went with Micah, obviously Micah Parsons. Matt mentioned a few things, but he's one of those guys who just blazes all over the field with that crazy speed, lines up on the edge, will drop back into coverage, will play, how many different positions on defense, which is going to allow him to put up numbers. He's going to have opportunities to put up interceptions, get sacks, and obviously he's going to rack up the tackles. So that's why I went Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I'm also riding out Parsons here. Absolutely hate the Cowboys. Don't really like Penn State that much either. But Micah Parsons is elite. Like, he ran a 4.3 at the combine, and everyone was like, whoa. I've been seeing it. Obviously, he didn't play last year, opted out due to COVID. But, man, this guy can rush the passer, like, better than almost any backer already in the league. He covers – he runs a 4.3. Like, there's almost no one in the NFL that he can't run with.
They had him
Right
on
away.
offense on the last play when they were doing like that.
Yeah.
They had him on offense.
Yeah, he's a freak, man. And then he plays the run better than a lot of rookies too. He's just so smart. Like, I watched Hard Knocks this year. A lot of spotlight was on him, and you see, like, he's already learning. He's already growing. It's gonna be scary, and I'm not excited for the Cowboys to play the Eagles.
I went a little biased on this one. Literally, my sole reason was because I didn't want to put Micah Parsons, because I knew most of you, if not all of you, were going to go with Micah Parsons. So I went with Aziz Ojolari for the Giants. Second round pick, surprise guy who fell to the second round. He only played 50% of the Giants snaps or 52% of the defensive snaps. He had 3 tackles and a sack in his debut. He's the best pure pass rusher in New York right now on the Giants. And, obviously that role is going to grow. It was just week 1. Giants have a history of not really starting many rookies. So especially not Joe Judge, a guy who comes from Bill Belichick's system. Never start any rookies, except for apparently this year Mac Jones got the call. But so eventually as he keeps getting pressure on the quarterback, he's going to earn his way up to being that number 1 pass rusher and probably get 80 to 90% of the snaps. He's one of those guys that this year could be, he's not going to get the 15 sacks like Dawson said Kwity Paye is probably going to get, but he's a guy who could get, that 8 to 10 range as a rookie. I think that's from a second round pick rookie. That's more than you can ask for. So that's why I went with him.
Okay. We got 3 of these left. Next one is comeback player of the year.
I feel like I'm going to have the same one as Shane on this one. I just have that feeling.
Okay.
3,
Because I know you like this guy.
2, 1.
And you definitely don't have the same one as me.
Oh.
All right. 4 of us have Dak. The only person who has Derwin James is Dawson.
That's a good
I
one.
have a little.
That's a great one.
I have a little heart next.
I
to
do,
Dak.
however, love Derwin James. Derwin James is one of my favorite players in the NFL.
Yeah, me too.
Spoiler alert.
I used to say that I like Dak Prescott. I freaking love Dak Prescott. He's so good. And honestly, I hate the Cowboys, and I wish he played for anyone else besides the Cowboys or even like the Patriots. But Dak Prescott, you're on my fantasy team. I'm cheering for you this year. And there's nothing around it. I had to watch the Bucks and the Cowboys with both of my fantasy quarterbacks in there. So that was kind of a fun game to watch. And both of them played very well. Dak Prescott especially. You are the man.
I don't have much to add for Derwin James. He's one of my favorite defensive players in the league. He's one of the most versatile defensive players in the league. Super exciting to watch, and I think he's going to be huge for that Chargers defense this year. So I have him locked in there. Obviously, I kind of forgot about Dak, to be honest. But no, I love Derwin James, so I'll have him in there. A little variety.
Yeah, I was going to say after week 1, I think Dak is, the obvious choice. Maybe you could slot in CMC there as well. He had a solid week 1. But at this point, week 1, it's Dak's race to lose. So, I have to give the boy a shout out. Great first game.
Yeah, I don't have much to say for Dak. Obviously, we saw him for 4 weeks last year. It's going to be a lot of the same this year. I think their defense didn't get that much better. I mean, like I said, Micah Parsons is going to be elite or may already well be, but I see them either playing from behind a lot or just airing the ball out nonstop because that's what they're going to do. And Dak has the ability to throw for 400 plus weekly, looking like Patrick Mahomes out there. So, yeah, it's hard for me to say someone else is going to win this right now.
Yeah, Dak's going to throw for over 5,000 yards barring injury this year. I don't know what Mike McCarthy's game plan is going, but the fact that week 1 wasn't very positive for Zeke on that running game, Dak threw for over 400 yards because he was throwing it, 50 times. When you have receivers like Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, one of them's going to be open on every play. There's not those are 3 guys that could be number 1 receivers on different teams. And that helps when you're throwing the ball 50 times a game because apparently you don't trust the running back you paid $70 million.
But hey, you said before that Matt Stafford was going to be the guy to go over 6,000 yards. I think the guy's got to be Dak Prescott, who's the favorite to go over 6,000 yards.
I think Patty Mahomes is the favorite over anyone, but yeah.
Well, I guess, yeah.
But no, just before we move on here, Mike Gallup is out now, but they still have a couple guys that are could literally step up into that role and replace him. Like Cedric Wilson looks really good.
He had a few catches there late in the game.
They also have Noah Brown, who should be coming back relatively soon. So, yeah.
So when in doubt, just put Micah Parsons at receiver.
Yeah. He'll probably go up and get you one.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 2 left. Coach of the year. Who we got? I'm ready to go here.
I got one.
3, 2, 1. Major bias incoming. All right. So Cam has Staley. LBS has Kingsbury. Dawson has Sirianni. And Shayner has McVay. And I have Sean Payton. So, huge bias. But if Jameis Winston goes on and has a freaking fantastic year in his first year starting for the Saints, it's going to be hard to argue that Sean Payton didn't just transform his career. So, yeah. Sean Payton, you are the man.
They barely lost any guys on their roster.
Yeah.
The Saints?
Yeah.
The Saints lost like 11 guys on the roster. The Saints lost so many people. They were $100 million over the cap.
Yes. How many starters?
Quite a few.
Go on.
I gotta find it now.
Well, listen, like Latavius Murray's not a starter.
No.
He's a role guy.
The only one you lost on offense, Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook.
Emmanuel Sanders is a wide receiver 3/4 in that offense.
Exactly.
Starter. He's a starter.
Yes, but as a third target, easily replaceable. Easily replaceable is my point. I'm just saying it's a long shot for Sean Payton to win Coach of the Year.
Okay.
Long shots for Coach of the Year. I have Nick Sirianni.
I don't like that. Not a fan.
No, but I'm kind of high on the Eagles right now. Obviously, they played the Falcons. The Falcons are not going to be that good. People forget they had the 4th overall pick. But no, I'm kind of high on the Eagles. I love the offense. I'm loving Jalen Hurts, not only because he's my fantasy quarterback, but
he's sick. He's fucking sick.
More confident. Fun fact: Jalen Hurts now has the second most jersey sales in the NFL, increase of 500% from last week.
I only bought 10 on Sunday.
Yeah. And this is still a bit of bias, obviously, too. Nick Sirianni, as we know, was the Colts OC last year. So a little bit of bias sneaking through. But I think if the Eagles can, win, I don't know, like 9 or 10 games and win the NFC East, which I think they might. Sorry, Shane.
You think they're going to win 10 games?
I don't know. I kind of like them.
I don't think anybody in that division is winning 10 games.
I kind of like them. I don't know what to say. Even if he wins 8, even if they go I don't know what it is now. It's 8 and 9. That sounds weird. But I don't know. I could see him winning it even if they go 8 and 9.
I think they'd at least have to make the playoffs. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the young guys. He's definitely making the young receivers look really good.
When's the last time a coach won without making the playoffs?
I don't know. I doubt it's ever.
Probably never. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, another maybe long shot, especially because of the division they play in. But I got Cliff Kingsbury, Arizona Cardinals. I just really like their offense. Their defense, was solid week 1. Hopefully they can keep that up down the line. I'm just saying if they can win a couple divisional games, crack the playoffs. And if Kyler – and you know what? This is kind of – you'll see my next pick as to why. I'm putting him here as Coach of the Year as well. If Kyler has a crazy year, dude, I think Cliff Kingsbury would be a shoo-in for Coach of the Year if they can make the playoffs in that division and, lead their team, to a solid record. I'm thinking 13, 14 wins here maybe. But we'll see. We'll see.
I'm just happy they finally figured out how to use Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Facts. Doesn't Cliff Kingsbury have the highest odds to be fired first?
Does he really?
I think he might.
No way.
Well, before the season, not now. I don't know now.
Okay. That's great. I don't know. I always thought.
I did.
I don't know. I love him.
We need some division realignment. There's no way that should be a division with the fucking Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, and Cardinals.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're in a crazy division, but if they can make the playoffs, I think he would be the obvious choice.
After I just said the Eagles make the playoffs at 8 and 9.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brandon Staley here. Hey, he's who I had in my preseason article way back. I'm not wavering now. He just did what Anthony Lynn struggled to do for the last 2 years, which is win a one possession game. Washington's not a bad team by any means. Like, okay, they're in the NFC East, but I think they're still a 10-win team in this league. So yeah, look, Justin Herbert, he has a lot to answer for after last year. He didn't really step up to the plate on Sunday, but I think he'll still have a good year. And they added a couple guys. Derwin James is back. They're poised for a good year. I mean, the Raiders look okay. The Broncos look okay. We'll see what that's going to be. A really competitive division, I think.
Yeah, I put McVay. Obviously, expectations are high in LA. Super Bowl is in LA. There's a chance they're sitting there. They're the second team to play in back-to-back years at their home field in the Super Bowl. To me, they're going to win the NFC. The only thing for me is what sets them apart is I honestly think they'll only lose 1 or 2 games. You know, I don't think they're going to go 13-4. I think they'll go 15-2, 16-1 with the offense and the defense that they've built. So to me, that's why I have McVay. If a team goes 16-1, there's no way that any other team deserves to be head coach of the year, or coach of the year. So that's why I went with McVay.
I think it's gonna be fucking tough to only have 1 or 2 losses in that division, but yeah.
One little fact: Cliff, I can't speak. Cliff Kingsbury at the beginning of the year was the most likely coach to be fired. He dropped down to number 8 now at plus 1,400.
Who's number 1?
You got Matt Nagy at plus 700.
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer at plus 700. Zach Taylor at plus 800. And then Vic Fangio, John Gruden, Mike McCarthy, and David Culley. I don't even know who David Culley is.
David Culley's the
That's
Texans.
Houston, no?
Oh, is it?
There's no way they fire Gruden. I feel like Gruden's going to live out that 10-year contract.
Him and
But
Mayock.
he said himself that, like, he'll walk away if the team's not doing well under
All
him.
right.
Yeah, of course
We're in
not.
what, year 4 or year 5, and they still haven't made the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the final award, the big one. MVP. Who you got? 3, 2, 1. Myself and Shayner have Russ, finally. I did not see what you put, Dawson.
I put Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, and Kyler Murray from LBS and Cam. I gotta say, mine said Russ, like with finally in parentheses, because he seems to always be like in the conversation and fades away. But this year, he is gonna do it, and I'm very excited to see him. I love watching Russ play; he's so good. That offense is gonna be fun to watch too.
Yeah, I don't think – I don't know. Like, historically, I just think he's going to fade away. Like, don't get me wrong. He torched my team on Sunday. And am I holding that against him right now? Maybe a little bit. But the only reason I don't think Patrick Mahomes might not win it, and I know he's barely been in the league. He's won one MVP?
He hasn't won any.
Patty Mahomes won an MVP, no?
No, he won Super Bowl MVP. He hasn't won a regular MVP.
Patty Mahomes definitely
Patty
won.
Mahomes won MVP for sure.
He won in his second. He won in his first year as a starter.
Yeah, and then
100%?
He won the year before Lamar won.
Oh, I'm tripping.
anyways, he's only won one. And I'm scared that he's kind of in that like Tom Brady, LeBron James category where they're just like not going to give it to him because it's
Too
so
good
exciting.
to win it.
Overlooking him, yeah.
He's too
Almost,
good to win it.
That's the only reason I'm thinking he might not get it. But Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the NFL. And like, I think he showed it again. Like, again, slow start, whatever. But Patrick Mahomes, like, no one is like Patrick Mahomes. It's fucking crazy. So I have him.
Well, no one is like Kyler Murray.
That is also
And Kyler Murray is my MVP choice. Obviously, as I mentioned, I'm predicting that they're going to have a big year, make the playoffs, have 12, 13 wins. And the numbers are going to be there for Kyler. He has weapons all over the field on that offense. And he's poised to have that huge season. He could rush for 1,000, throw for, 4, who knows, with the receivers they have. And in my eyes, that would be an MVP season if they can make the playoffs as well. So Kyler Murray, MVP.
Yeah, not much to add there. I think he'll have like a Lamar type MVP season this year. Like he's definitely poised to have one, barring an injury, because he is a little reckless. But so was Lamar, and that's what makes them so special in this league. Yeah, I really don't have much to add, but that division's going to be tight. But I think if he wins a couple of those big games and puts up the numbers, people are really going to start to recognize him. So yeah, he's my MVP.
We heard all offseason about how much Russ apparently wanted to leave Seattle. I think this year he's going to shut that up. He's going to prove that he's happy to be in Seattle, and he's gonna play stress free. You know, so he's just going to ball out. He normally, like Dawson said, he normally falls off in the second half. This year, I don't expect it to happen. This is also a very hopeful pick, seeing how he's my starting quarterback in fantasy. So I'm praying that he doesn't fall off. So that's also a hopeful pick for me.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's our NBC awards. Our
That was
predictions
great.
for
Oh, yeah.
the 2021 NFL regular season. With that being said, let's head into everyone's favorite segment, Top 5. This week we're doing top 5 NFL players that you love to watch. Okay? At number 5, Alabama product, Derrick Henry, the best runner, power back in the NFL, without a doubt.
Ask LBS about that one on Sunday.
Did not have a great day last Sunday, let me tell you. But
They got tackled inside the one. I forget who it was, and LBS like got up off the couch. He was so excited, and then Derrick Henry got stopped, and he was like, "What?"
Yeah. He got stopped 3 times, and then I don't know what they ended up doing. But.
Tannehill ran it in.
Yeah.
Number 4,
Finger roll.
talked about him before. Tyreek Hill, absolutely electrifying. Number 3, playing at his best, is easily the most electric player in the NFL, Lamar Jackson. He does things that no one else can do, and it's very fun to watch. Number 2, my current favorite player in the NFL, Alvin Kamara. Fuck, I love watching him run with the ball. It's ridiculous. He's so good. And number 1, my favorite player to watch, best player in the NFL, Patty Mahomes. Throws this guy makes, goes on the field, has a chance to score on every play. Not to mention he has amazing weapons around him. But someone's got to make the throws, and he does that. Patrick Mahomes, I love watching you play football. You're my number 1 guy.
All right. Number 5 for me. Some bias, absolutely. Darius Leonard, like we mentioned before, all over the field at all times, getting sacks, getting interceptions, forcing fumbles. Cannot complain. Number 4, Kyler Murray, like Liam said. No one is like Kyler Murray at all. He's super exciting to watch. Number 3, Tyreek Hill, the fastest player in the NFL, the most unguardable player in the NFL. Sorry, Shane. Number 2, Patty Mahomes. Why is there text going on in the background? That's all I'm hearing.
Definitely Shayner.
Cheater.
Shane, control the hose. Number
The hose
2.
are on the
You're the
line.
one that told him to hit me up to be the first lady of the.
The episode's not out yet.
I sent the clip. Don't worry.
Number 2, Patty Mahomes. Best player in the NFL. And number 1, like Matt said, when playing at his best, he is the most electric player in the NFL. Lamar Jackson. Saw spurts of it yesterday in the Monday Nighter.
Wow.
He can run, man. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
He's disgusting.
Like like obviously we know him from like we got our first taste of Lamar with that in high school where he just stopped, let the defender walk right by him, whatever. He still does that in the NFL. Like he just stops on a dime, lets the defender go right by, and keeps going.
He's
Like,
even better at it now, though. Like,
He's better at it now,
stupid. It's
absolutely.
stupid.
It's insane. So
And
Lamar
last night-
Jackson, my favorite player.
The last night, the amount of times I was scared of seeing him get lit up, and he just like dives and sneaks his way under a diving defender. Like it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I saw Jonathan Abrams lining him up all night.
Yeah.
Never got a lick on him. Never got a lick on him.
Yeah, Lamar is truly different, and we'll see. He's deep on my list as well. Number 5, I kind of cheated a little bit here, boys. I kind of had to there's too many guys to choose from for me. So I have Patrick Mahomes at number 5, and I'm gonna slot Tyreek Hill with him. Just electric duo. The things Mahomes and him do on the field are truly unique. At number 4, I have Julio Jones. I love watching like big-bodied receivers just do their thing, and sun DBs. I love seeing that shit. I'm guys like DK and AJ Brown. Love watching those guys play. Number 3, I have Derrick Henry, another big guy, just a freak of nature, to be honest. The things he does on the football field. Suns a lot of players on the defense as well. Number 2, Kyler and Lamar. I'm putting Kyler and Lamar together. They just both do electric things at the quarterback position. And come on, like, who doesn't like watching them play football? And at number 1, this is personally, like, this is all personal for me. Keenan Allen. I could watch this guy play football all
Knew
day
that was coming.
long.
I was waiting for him.
Just that he's not the fastest guy in the field, but he will put DBs in the blender. He has solid hands. I just love watching the things he does. He truly makes it a thing of art, So he's my favorite player to watch.
Okay, I think I have the most random player at number 5 ever, but he's young. He's making a little impact here. Mr. Third Down, F5, Hunter Renfrow.
Oh, man.
You know what?
Wait,
Listen to me. First of all, he's a great route runner. So underrated.
He's a very good
So
route
underrated. And the way this guy gets ragdolled, like playing, like every time he touches the ball, he gets absolutely destroyed, and he gets up and hands the ball to the ref and runs right back to the huddle.
You know who he reminds me of a lot? Danny Amendola.
Speaking of Amendola, big touchdown on Sunday.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was still in the league until he called.
Yeah, neither did I.
But no, honestly, like, I'm not even like shitting you guys. Hunter Renfrow, one of my favorite players to watch. At 4, guy should be higher on my list, but honestly, I'm a quarterback guy. I love seeing clean mechanics. Lamar Jackson's at 4 for me. I'm not saying he can't throw the ball. I'm not saying he's a running back. I love the way Lamar Jackson plays quarterback, but if he could clean up his mechanics a little better, because he does miss a lot of open throws and throws that should be completed, but nonetheless, great player. At 3, I also have Tyreek. Guy's got to be on this list somewhere. Like, yeah, he's dangerous. At 2, Kyler. Since Oklahoma, I've loved watching him play. Nothing's changed. And at number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Like, there's never a doubt with that guy. Like, he's gonna do something crazy every other play almost. It seems like he's rolling out and throwing 87 yards across the field, which makes no sense to anyone else except for him, but he does it and he makes it look easy, and I really appreciate him for that.
You guys are not going to like my list.
I knew it.
You guys are not going to like my list. At 5, I do have Lamar Jackson. Like Cam said, he frustrates me so much when he's throwing the ball, but when he runs the ball, it's insane. It's like watching a video game. It doesn't make sense to move. Like yesterday, he juked like 3 guys when he had like this much room to get by them. Like, I don't know how he did it. It was insane. 4, I have Kyler Murray. That throw that he made on Sunday, he had no feet on the ground, and he just threw like a 35-yard touchdown to Christian Kirk. Like, it was insane. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. At 3, I'm going to show some defensive players love here. Jalen Ramsey. Watching him lock down someone is like a work of art. It's insane. The way he could lock down the top receivers in the NFL. Like, I think it was Dawson texted the group chat. It's ridiculous how good Jalen Ramsey is at football. Like, he dissects plays before the offense even knows where they're throwing the ball. It's insane.
The way he blew up that screen in that game.
Yeah.
That's what you texted us for, yeah.
Yes, it was. It was.
Number 2, Dawson talked about him earlier. My favorite player in the NFL right now that Cam Newton's currently sitting on his couch. Derwin James. I know he hasn't played much, but when he's on the field, that man is electric. He flies all over the field. I'm excited to watch him again this year. Hopefully he stays healthy. I don't think he's been healthy for 2 years now. So I'm excited. You know, Staley had Ramsey in his defense last year, did a lot with him. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with Derwin James. And this is the one you guys are not going to like. But at his best, there is no one better than this guy in the NFL over the past 10 years or however long we've been watching football consistently. What?
You say a kicker?
No. Antonio Brown.
Mm.
Toe tap. The toe taps on the sideline, the way he runs his routes, that guy is always open. Somehow I don't understand how he's always open. He's starting to get back into what he was. This week he was insane. Cam felt that. LVS was hyped about it. But this week he got back, or kind of showed flashes of what he was in Pittsburgh. But at his best, there's nobody better than him. So I'm going to go with Antonio Brown because he is electric.
You know, Shane, I don't hate your list.
Did I have a
that's
stroke,
really
or did you
bad.
not put Saquon
Yeah,
on?
no.
I did not put Saquon on it.
I'm shocked. OBJ too. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I'm shocked at OBJ.
Why?
I'm shocked that they're both not on your list.
Saquon, like, I don't know. Saquon.
I thought he's your
played a
favorite
lot.
player. I literally thought he was your favorite player.
No, Saquon's not my favorite player. Saquon's exciting to watch, but he's not like, like he breaks one run a game. Like, not to talk shit about my boy, but that O-line, once that O-line starts getting better, then maybe Saquon makes this list. But and maybe when the play calling gets better. But as for now, he's sitting at 6. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Well, listen, that does it for top 5, our favorite players to watch in the NFL. We're going to go into our last segment here, our lock of the week in terms of betting. Well, it's another week in the NFL, and another week where we're going to be betting football. Dawson, I'm going to let you do the honors for this one. I'm going to need you to pick a number between 1 and 3.
2.
1, 2, or 3. 2?
2.
Lock it in. Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown scorer. Thank you to my friend Dawson for letting me punch that in.
All right. I have an interesting one. Okay. My lock of the week. You're not going to make any money, but you're going to help determine the future of my personal life. Coming in at minus 800 odds, the
Mine.
Washington Huskies will beat Arkansas State. Okay. But here's my proposition. I've drafted up a little contract right here. Okay. For those of you on Spotify, it says if the Washington Huskies lose to Arkansas State on September 18th, 2021, I, Dawson Spooner, will become a Cincinnati Bearcats fan. Okay? Have it right here. We're going to sign
Dawson's
it
looking
together
down.
on the podcast.
Bro, Dawson's hoping Arkansas State wins.
Yeah.
Right?
It has been
First ever
signed.
signature of NBC.
It's locked in. You guys can hold me accountable. If Cincinnati loses 15.5-point favorites to Arkansas State, I am done.
We're also framing that whiteboard and getting you a new one if that happens.
I will keep it.
If he doesn't break it before then.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'll burn a T-shirt on Instagram Live.
Oh, man. Things are getting heated.
All right, boys. I think during the NFL season, I'm gonna go through some player props that I can find, and find the closest thing to a lock that I think I can do. And unfortunately, Shane, this week it comes against the Giants, but I'm going Antonio Gibson over 89.5 rushing and receiving yards. It's at minus 120. No, it's rushing and receiving. I think this is a lock. He rushed the ball 20 times week 1 and had I believe 6 or 7 receiving targets. I think it's a lock this week. Just the amount of targets he has itself. I'm not saying the Giants defense sucks or whatever, but I think that's a shoe-in. Regardless of who he's playing, he could be playing the best defense in the league, and I still think it's a lock. Minus 120. There it is, boys. Lock of the week. Antonio Gibson.
I went super simple this week. Don't have live odds for you guys, but they're probably not super good. Don't like touching division games, but I had to show LBS some love here. Patriots ML against the Jets. There's really no mistake in it. Parlay with another ML game if you want, but maybe parlay the Browns and Pats together and make a bit of money. But Yeah, there's no way the Jets are beating the Patriots. Not this early in the season.
I love it.
I'm gonna hop over to college football here. Big game in the Bud Light Express this week. We got Bama against Florida.
Yow!
Your lock is coming from that game.
The over/under is currently set at 58.5. I'm gonna take the over on that, big time.
59-0
Yes, sir.
Bama.
I don't know why you act like Florida's not good. But anyways, 58.5. I'm gonna take the over.
I like the under on that game. We got a little lock fight.
You're wild.
I honestly love the under in those.
Florida's
SEC
defense
games.
is an absolute liability.
Yeah. But like, are they gonna go shot for shot for Bama with Bama like they did last year?
I mean, yeah, we'll see. Depends who's playing. Depends who's playing.
Right. Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
Gonna be a problematic.
Just know if Florida wins that game, Matt will not be on next week's podcast. I'm gonna make fun of him forever.
I'm never coming back on the podcast if I get the Gators beat the fucking Crimson Tide. But yeah, hey, that does it for episode 40.
Woo!
Nothing but controversy
Sirski.
podcast. Dawson, of course, started this show with a hat on, and now he took it off because it just got so heated. Oh, there it goes. But hey, listen, this is just your reminder.
That's clean.
Go vote on Monday. If you don't know who to vote for, skip back to about like 4 minutes into this episode, maybe 2 minutes into this episode,
Vote Shayner.
and maybe I'll convince you to vote for Shayner and the Bud Light Party of Canada. And if you vote for him, he's definitely going to give you a little smoochie.